Hey guys, welcome back to According To. I'm Megan.
And I'm Ciera. For this week's episode, because we are getting into summertime, Megan and I thought it'd be appropriate to do a summer bucket list video or episode.
This was inspired by, I was listening to Match Made in Manhattan, and they had mentioned doing an episode of summer bucket list stuff. So
she snatched that.
I was inspired, and I said, Ciera, why don't you and I do that? So we separately made some summer bucket list things. We'll have to see if we have any overlap, but that's what this episode's going to be about. So
we are actually recording this on Saturday. Typically, we do all of our podcast recording on Sunday, but I decided to flop our days today. Typically, Saturday's
we're doing work today.
Yeah. So Saturday's typically, I say quote unquote fun day, as a loose
as
term.
Someone who has nothing they ever really
but
planned
typically we don't have major plans, or if we want to do something fun, we tend to leave that for Saturday, and then Sunday is like everyone else kind of our reset day. We typically podcast on Sundays, clean, grocery shop, laundry, all that stuff. Tomorrow also happens to be Mother's Day, and so the weather's also supposed to be nice both days, but particularly Sunday's getting up into the 80s potentially, upper 70s. And so I had mentioned to Megan, I was like, maybe we could do a beach day on Sunday. I think we're going to do brunch for Mother's Day tomorrow. It just seemed like it made more sense to flip-flop days. And then Megan said, we're both going into work today. It's so funny. We're both going in because we have evaluations. If you guys are unfamiliar with the skilled nursing setting and why we have to, should, whatever phrase you want to use, go in today, it's because I don't know if it's insurance or whoever it is, technically the powers that be.
It's supposed to be, some companies have different preferences. I think that insurance policy wise, it just needs to be within the first 72 hours. So that in theory could get you through the whole weekend, but some individual companies have policies of we'll do it within the first 48 or what have you. Okay?
Yeah. And so literally, if you watch our Week in Our Life this week, which will have been up by the time you guys are listening to this, I went on this whole monologue in the bathroom as I was getting ready on Friday of I always get Friday scaries because I don't really know my schedule until I go in, and then even then you're never sure who admin for the building is going to admit or not admit.
It's hospitals. Here's how the system works. Hospitals are trying to get people out of the hospital, and so Friday comes rolling around. Usually it has to be Friday if they're leaving before Monday, usually, because otherwise just not as many people, admin people, are working over the weekend. And so all of a sudden it's kind of okay, stars aligned, this person's coming in Friday afternoon, which it's it always says it's always oh, they'll be here at 1 o'clock or 3 o'clock or whatever. And it's that's what they say.
It never happens.
They're never there that early, that soon.
Because there have been times, and we've done this, has happened in vlog and stuff.
I will say this is only probably the second time I've gone in on a Saturday, and if I had stuff going on, I wouldn't be going in, but I was I'm gonna have to do the eval eventually, and so I would honestly probably just rather go in today and do that one eval and leave. So that's what I'm doing.
This is for me, it's I've either had to stay late. I think I've gone in 1 or 2 Saturdays at my job so far. And my preference is if you get an admit in by 2 o'clock on Friday, I can make it work, sometimes it takes a little bit longer. I can, work around nursing because everyone has to do all their admission stuff. Mm-hmm. It's not just therapy that wants to get in. But I finished all my treatment, and it was 2:30 or something, because that's when I got word that the first admit was maybe supposed to be coming at 2:30. There's supposed to be a second one coming at 3, and so I was
you're if they come on time,
I need to
do
get
it
rolling, Yeah. So I'm waiting, and I'm staying clocked in. I'm sorry.
That's my new motto.
Sorry. I'm clocked in.
My
twiddling my
productivity's bad. I'm sorry.
Twiddling my thumbs. I literally go for a walk outside the building because I'm well, if there's an ambulance that comes, I'll see them, and then I can go back in. I'm getting more insight going on this walk than I am sitting in the therapy gym because I can't see anything. And then my system is down. I can't log into the system that shows all the residents and admits and stuff, which is annoying. So it's sometimes I would sit in the gym and just refresh stuff and see oh, this person showed up, but now I need eyes on them or something. And so I'm walking around. It's 3:15. I go upstairs, talk to the nurses at the nurses station, be
it's always
ETA
they're on their way.
It wasn't even that. They
Oh.
hadn't even been, like, the paperwork hadn't even been signed yet.
Oh.
So I was like, I'd been waiting for 45 minutes at that point. I was like, I either continue waiting for, like, the sake of not having to go in tomorrow, and, like, I might be here till, like, 7. And that's, you know, I don't want to do
Your
that.
company, I mean, I don't really care what the company, like, is wanting to say or not, because, like, if you have that strong of an opinion, you should have said, like, this is what you're doing and whatever. And they don't really have, like, I don't know, sometimes I wish, like, my company would, like, I'm sure what they would want, this is what they want.
Is you clock
they want
out.
me to clock out, and then, you know, I
Clock
could
in.
leave or I could stay there, but they don't want me clocked in. But
Sorry.
if I'm here waiting solely for
work
to get the job done, like, I'm getting paid. I'm getting paid hourly, so if I'm at work, I'm getting paid.
I have actually been flexible one time before when there was a later admit.
Reason, I can be flexible.
Like, there's one
I
time.
will take a longer lunch sometimes. With, like, if I'm actually out and, like, not at the building, okay, I'm obviously not gonna be clocked in. Mm-hmm. But if
There was, like, a later, I think it was Friday admit, because I don't typically, like, stay later during the weekday because it can just get done the next day. But I think there was one time where it was, like, 2 o'clock, and they weren't coming till later. It was, like, I clocked out. I work kind of close to downtown, so I, like, went downtown, like, did some little book shopping. I went to, like, Dairy Queen or something, and then, like, I went back to the building. So, like, I can be flexible.
But if it's, like, you want to be there, like, when they get there, especially if you had, like, 2 in theory you were maybe gonna have to do, like, you don't want to leave, then get word or hope you come back when they're actually there. Because what if they're still not there? Or, yeah.
So anyway, long story short, I decided to leave, like, at 3:20 or something, knowing that I would then have to come back. I was kind of praying that, like, something would happen where, like, the admits, like, would fall through and, like, oh, they have to stay through the weekend or something. Nothing bad to the patient, but, like, sometimes paperwork wise, like, that happens.
Yeah.
And that didn't happen, so I have to go in and do 2 admits today. And I'm telling Megan, I'm like, these are gonna be the fastest evals of my life. Still efficient, still good, still fair. But it's mostly, like, a challenge to myself of, like, how productive and efficient can I be.
I don't know why one of the facilities I'm at is doing this, but, like, they're admitting someone today. And so the OT that I am working with at this building, I think flip-flopped today. So she was not working yesterday and she's working today. So, like, she was going to be there and doing it. And so I just decided that I would go in and do the eval today because I can be flexible. And so, yeah, that's what we're doing. But I just told her, like, to text me when they get there so I don't have to do any waiting. And it should work out smoothly. So.
And this is, like, the earliest podcast we've probably ever done. Like, it's
I know,
8 a.m.
This is, like, good morning, San Francisco.
San Francisco.
I was thinking of, like, Wake Up San Francisco with, like, from Full House.
Okay.
You know?
You go to, like, a fake Good Morning show or morning show?
Yes. Good Morning America.
The Today Show. Anyway, I have, like, legit today, like, mapped out, like, time piece wise. It's honestly, like, once I get the evals done, everything else should, like, fit together and, like, nothing is too crazy that needs to get done. But I just wanted, like, an idea of, I feel like I have a lot to do. Not all necessarily
and it can all
important.
hopefully get done.
Yeah.
But.
And then just, like, to make tomorrow as burden-free as possible. Also, if you do grocery shopping, can you get Vegas more food? I'm, like, saying that live on the podcast before I forget. He's running low. So, what else do you have today that you need to get done?
I am planning on working out after this because I think that I can fit that in nicely before I then go into work. And I'll probably just, like, bring a change of clothes to the gym. So then I can go from the gym to work, do the eval, be done.
And also, this could not be done without our lovely mother, who not only does she, like, typically watch Vegas every week when we podcast, but she also agreed to, like, watch him like through when we're both working, just because, like, the drive time to, like, go get him and then come back is just, like, it adds more time than I would like. And I said I'm trying to speed run today.
Speed run.
So thank you to her. Happy Mother's Day.
Otherwise, like, we still need to do our Mother's Day shopping, and we have not done any planning with our dad for our New York trip. And so and he owes us some money for the trip. So we're going over to his house for dinner, and we're going to talk about maybe things we want to do. Maybe we'll book things if needed. Yeah, that's the main stuff. Mm-hmm. I could try and do some reading.
We're going to do, like, our cleaning, laundry stuff today.
Mm-hmm.
I also may try to work out. We want to maybe try, like, touring a new gym.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
We will see.
We'll see.
Once we, like, are both done with work, like, everything else will fall into place. But, like, those, like, that's the thing that we are both kind of like,
yeah.
don't want to do.
It's been pushed off, like, more than it needs to be. So,
And then tomorrow will be amazing, fun, beautiful beach day.
Okay. We haven't even jumped into our weekly spotlights or book updates at all.
Oh, yeah.
So
I just have to, like, go on my little rant.
why don't we backtrack and we can do that? My weekly spotlight, I am going to say, was my little book haul of the week because I love buying books. And I would say I haven't bought books in a while, but, like, that's probably not true because it hasn't been that long.
You just filled up the bookshelf downstairs.
True. That's how I've been justifying it, is I've been like,
we need more fantasy books.
We need more fantasy books. And also, like, there's been books that I had read that I was, like, reading on my Kindle. And then I was like, I want these, like, to have a spot on the shelf. And I used to not get it. If you are thinking, why are you buying books you've already read? Like, I don't have to justify myself to you. First of all, this is prior to the physical book shopping I did. I think last week I ordered some books from the UK because I wanted the UK covers of the Once Upon a Broken Heart series. And I'm starting to realize, because I've gotten one of them and they shipped 2 separate packages, I'm kind of wondering if I didn't take a long enough look at what I was buying, because I was expecting the covers that I like, I'm pretty sure are hardcover. I could be wrong. I could double check my emails and that would maybe help. And the first book that came in its package, it was paperback. And I was like,
did it look like how you were expecting it to?
To be honest, there are a few different covers that, like,
You're not sure what you were getting?
To question, like, I should have spent, like, 10 minutes of my time determining for sure, like, this is what I was thinking, yes, I want this, and then making sure that's what I was ordering.
Mm-hmm.
I think I maybe did that for the second 2 books, in which...
Have you read just 2 books in the series?
Yeah, so I still have the last one.
Okay.
I don't like the US covers of the books, and I haven't bought the physical copies of any of them, so this was me going
Megan's
back.
really giving me, like, some book homework with all these books she's buying.
And so I have purchased those to be determined if I need to make some adjustments.
Does Haley still have 20 Years Later? Or does Grandma have it?
You know what? Someone has.
Or where is that book?
I don't know.
I was looking at my book app, my library app.
Is it
loaned out? Yes.
It's like, where to
I was
who?
like, wait, they just loaned out. Who has it?
In person this week, I purchased The Undertaking of Heart of Mercy, and that's just a fun, romantic-y, cute book that I suggested we read for book club last month, but it didn't end up being picked. But I saw it. I feel like I haven't seen the physical book in stores, and so when I went to, like, an indie bookstore, I saw it, and I was like, I'm getting that.
You're coming home with me.
And then Something About a Moon Goddess is the title of the other one. It's also fantasy. Do not ask me to say what the book is about because I don't know. But the cover is beautiful. And so I got that as well. It was on my TBR already. I know I've read the summary. I just, like, couldn't tell you what it is right now. And then when I was at Target at some point this week, I was going to check out. And right by the checkout thing, they had Carly Fortune's new book, This Summer Will Be Different. And I was like, well, I want to read that too. So I got that book as well. I haven't read her second book because after people started coming in with reviews, like, I just wasn't really... It didn't seem like the reviews were very good. So I was like, I'm going to skip this one. But this one has pretty good reviews. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to give this one a chance. Because I did like Every Summer After, even though I was kind of like...
The trope.
Ugh, but I still liked it. So anyways, we'll give it a try eventually. And my TBR is just ever growing.
An endless pile. My weekly spotlight is we hosted book club on Monday. We actually vlogged a little bit of book club since we haven't... Like, the stars hadn't aligned previously where we were recording when we were hosting book club. But it did. We did a little Sunday bar. We reviewed all of our thoughts on Scythe. Most everyone, I think, got the book fully read.
It's funny because, like, people were coming in and people were saying, like, one of the people on our book club was, like, in their car finishing the audiobook before they came inside. So it was funny.
I appreciate the dedication. So I think general consensus was, like, roughly, like, 4-star average.
Maggie gave it a 5-star, which good for her because that was the book that she had put on her. Like, she was the one that recommended it and had us vote.
But I'm just saying, I mean, Maggie's read, like, romantasy and, like, fantasy and stuff, so she's not, like, just diving into it. But I was like, girlie, if you like this, you gotta read Powerless.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not even that similar, but I feel like they're both, like, YA fantasy. And, like, Scythe is, like, if Scythe has, like, a sliver of romance, like, Powerless, it's not even, like, crazy romance because like there's so
Because
much like
guess what?
slow build and
Yeah.
tension,
And little actual romance.
but like the
But it's-
chemistry
yeah.
is there. Versus Scythe, I didn't feel like the chemistry
I
was
actually
as
saw a
there.
TikTok yesterday of someone. They weren't bashing Powerless, and I wish I knew her name because I've seen her make book related TikToks before, but I can't remember her name. She was like saying that like she felt like the book like between the two characters in Powerless, it was like purely banter and like no actual like conversation. So she's kind of like, where is the like connection coming from, or like
That's
you
funny.
guys haven't had like an actual conversation. And I was like, well, I had no thoughts on that. So
Yeah.
but that was interesting.
I'm so excited for Reckless to come out. July, is that when it comes
I
out?
think it's June or July.
We're close. It's coming.
It's coming before you know it. You got lots of books to read.
I know. As far as book updates, I am reading The Assassin's Blade right now. I think I just finished the third novella, so I have 2 novellas to go. I think I already said this last time. I know there are a lot of characters in Throne of Glass, but like I thought I knew the main character's name, and this book is not about that character.
This is me when I was reading ACOTAR for the first time, and I find like the main male character in the first book, and I was like, who is this? I was like, I've never heard this name before.
You didn't know that. Anyway,
I don't think so. No.
we're not giving away any spoilers. But I mean it'll probably be like a 4-star read for me right now. But like I just know there's such like controversies, like you need to read it here. And like it's backstory, yes, but I don't feel like it really would matter when you read it. I don't know.
Could be wrong.
Perhaps my opinion will change as I get going with the other books, and like I'm like, oh, like if I would have read it here, I don't know. But
I am reading Ruthless Vows. I'm not quite halfway through. Ciera was telling me that some people have like rated this book quite a bit lower, or like it's been a little bit of a disappointment compared to like people who really liked Divine Rivals, which is the first book of the series.
like I've seen people give like Divine Rivals 5 stars and they give Ruthless Vows 3 stars.
Personally, like here's the thing. Divine Rivals was not a 5-star for me, okay? So like
And maybe it's the people who like felt so strongly about it that were then
maybe
disappointed.
like yeah. Like for me, I gave it a solid 4 stars, but like I am not like that's not like Roman K is not like my like the best book boyfriend I've ever heard in my life, and I just enjoyed the story, but like it was not like a revolutionary book to me. So I wasn't going into this second book with really any expectations, and I feel like so far it has pretty like well been what I've been expecting.
I know people have
Following
said that
Divine
they
Rivals.
felt like there was less romance and it was like more like I don't know if there's war or like world building or something.
There is war
Which
going
you
on.
historically have seemed to like that in your romantasy books,
Yeah.
and so maybe that's why you're like fine with it.
Possibly. I feel like in the first one there really wasn't that much romance either though. Like which going into it, like there was enough, but like not a lot. And so that was probably why it wasn't my like I was a little disappointed with that one, but like I still liked it, and so I kind of like adjusted my
You tempered your expectations.
to what this was going to look like. And yeah, so we'll see what happens in the back half of the book, but it's probably also going to be like a 4-star book to me. And yeah.
With like book ratings, because you know how some people say like 3 stars is like they liked it but like they'll forget about it like the second after they read it. I do understand that rating, and I do feel like a lot of my 4-star
more on it
books
here and now.
probably like could fall into that category. But then like my fear is that like if I see a book that's like averaging 3 stars, like I don't want to read that.
Yeah.
Versus like if I give a book like 4 stars, I'm like, oh, you should read that. You know what I mean?
All that matters is like how I enjoyed it in the moment, for honestly. Because then like if you will be reading it, you'll enjoy it in the moment. Even if you forget about it later, okay,
Yeah.
doesn't matter. So that's how
Like
I
to
think
me,
of
a
it.
3 is I'm like, I finished it. It was okay. I could see some flaws. I don't think I would recommend it to you.
Yeah, like I've got no words to say to you on it. Mm-hmm. Nothing to convince you to read it.
2 stars, actively disliked, and then we always say 1 star probably
wouldn't
wouldn't
exist.
happen because I would not finish it.
Some people do rate their DNFs like a 1-star, and I feel like
Yeah.
you can't rate a book you didn't read, even
I
if you
agree.
hated it.
I agree. Okay. We got books. We got spotlights.
We've caught you up on our
we
day-to-day.
got whatever. Do we need
think-
to do anything else, or can we jump into the bucket list?
I think we can go to the bucket list. Okay.
You want to go first? Do you want me to go first?
Why don't you go first?
Okay. My first thing on my summer bucket list is that I would like to take Vegas to Ledges.
That's a good one.
So if you're unfamiliar, which most of you I would guess are unfamiliar, because how many of you actually live in Iowa? I don't think the vast majority. Iowa is not known for its hiking by any means. However, there is a state park called Ledges. It's in Boone, which is about like 40 minutes away, 40 minutes. And it's like the most hiking like you can get, at least in like the part of Iowa we're in. Arguably like northeast Iowa like gets a little bit more hilly, but this is the best we got. And it's a nice little like outing. You can like, I don't know, hike is the best way I can say it. Like there's
just
different
trails, you know.
You can climb up a little bit.
Nature area.
And I haven't been since I've gotten Vegas, and so I figured it would be a fun outing to take him on. He'd have some fun, be an enriching environment for him. Just need to make sure he doesn't get any ticks or anything. You should share your story.
Yesterday morning, I woke up and I found a tick on myself. We had gone on a walk on a trail that day, and so I don't know if that's where it attached to me or whatever. I have no idea. But before I went to bed, obviously, nothing to my knowledge was out of the ordinary. And then I woke up Friday morning, and the light on my room was off, and I have like a full-length mirror in my room, and I was like grabbing things to get changed to go to the gym, and I like saw in that mirror that like there was like something dark on my chest. I was like, I don't know, I was like, is that like food or something? Like I had no idea, but I was like going to rub it off, and it wasn't moving. And so then I was like, okay. And so then I tried to like pick it off, and it's like it's stuck on pretty good. I was like, at that point I still couldn't really see what it was, and I was like, the way it felt was like, I was like, this is like a skin tag. And I was like, how on earth would a dark skin tag develop overnight? I have no idea. So then I was like kind of getting concerned, and then I stepped into my bathroom, my light was on, and I could tell that it was a bug. And I was like, I looked up after the fact, just like double check what a tick looked like, because usually they're bulbous. In my mind, you think of them being like filled with like fluid and whatnot, and it was not. It was still like nice and small, but it was a tick. And so I yanked it off, and then I think what you're supposed to do is like wash them down the drain to like make sure they're out of there. Yeah. So anyways, that was not fun. And
then Megan texted me. She was like, FYI, like you should probably like check Vegas. And then like I like it was like in the morning still, so I'm like, I stripped down like in my room, and I'm like looking in my full length mirror. I'm like, do I see anything? I'm like feeling in my hair. I'm like, I don't know, could be anywhere. So then I checked Vegas out. I didn't find anything on him or myself, so
hoping that does not continue to be an issue.
Yeah, we haven't, like when we were really little, I remember our mom telling us that like I don't remember if it was you or me, where she was like looking at us sleeping, and she like saw like a tick like by one of our ears or something, and had to like pick it off. Oh, do you remember that? I remember that story. Maybe it was me, but yeah, I don't think that we've like really had to deal with ticks. No, too much.
Now I'm like, do I need to be? I was like, do I need to be like fearful of like going on trails and stuff?
Is there like a tick spray that like humans can use, or what?
I don't know. I've never except for maybe when we were younger and mom said there was a tick, literally never in my 25 years of life almost have I been concerned or worried about ticks. And now I'm like, oh my God.
Now Megan's like, wait, when I venture outside, should I be worried? Anyway, aside from that, I think Ledges would be fun. I give Vegas his flea and tick medication, so hopefully that helps him.
Keeps him safe. Okay. My first one on my list is, I think I would like to do a sister trip at some point.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Because we kind of have talked about the idea of doing a sister trip.
When have we literally ever done that?
I honestly I feel like no. Because it's always been like family trips, and then like we've just never really had like an opportunity.
Like Haley's gone on trips with Ashton. We've done big family trips all together. We've done solo trips
together. Like, yeah. So I think it'd be fun. We've kind of briefly brought up the idea of doing Charleston.
Charlotte,
possibly Charleston. They're not
somewhere in the Carolinas.
Because we may or may not try to go there for a baby shower, and
which we technically haven't even been invited to yet.
Technically not, but it could still be since that's where our minds are at. It could still be where we decide to go. I don't know.
Yeah,
but it was more so, not that I could never like talk to Haley about a sister trip anyways, but like she has a family now, so I just am like, you don't want to spring like
I feel like
we have to do a sister trip and like you need to make it work.
Yeah.
But she was the one that was bringing up the idea. So I was like, okay, I'm going to be latching on to this.
Yes.
Since
Like a tick.
And so we'll see. We'll see if it works out. You know, it's on my bucket list now. So
Now it kind of has to happen.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that'd be fun. Give us some weekend, like, easy trip ideas.
I have a weekend getaway thing on my phone.
That we could take into consideration for a sister trip, if you guys have any good suggestions. Or, like, I mean, I don't know if Nashville, like, would be our vibe, I guess, for a sister trip, so I don't know.
The pro of that would be you could probably get good, cheap tickets, and it'd be a quick, like, flight. But we'll see.
Next thing on my bucket list is to go to the Balloon Classic.
Okay.
So, I mean, I've been to the Balloon Classic before. Again, if you're unfamiliar with Iowa, every summer in Indianola, they have this big
Iowa lore
hot air balloon festival. And so it's typically, I think it's like July, early August, or maybe it's June.
It's usually August.
Anyway, Indianola is about like a 30-minute drive from us. And I know I didn't go last year, but I've gone like, usually I'll try to go once, like if I can, if it's going on, if I think about it. But it's just like a fun little outing. They've got like some fair food, and like I'm a sucker for some fair food. They usually have like a band and stuff too. And it's just a fun little outing.
Okay, this is a super simple one, but to be honest, I feel like I don't know the last time I did a bonfire. Maybe we did it last summer, but I want to do like a nice, like a good bonfire.
I feel like what's tough about bonfires, like the only time we ever really do it is at the lake house, and like no one wants to set it up anymore. And like I always feel it depends on like who's all up there, but if there's not a lot of people up there, then it's like, okay, well, who like wants s'mores?
Maybe what it could be is, because I agree, I feel like it's getting harder to do at the lake just with, because I want like a bonfire with like
we're
a
outside,
lot of people,
we're chilling.
And
Don't Haley National Pit have them host a bonfire?
They could host one. Or, I mean, even, I don't like our yard the best for a bonfire because like
we're like open.
We don't have as much
open to the public
as possible. But Maggie, if she were to get a bonfire pit, we could almost do like a bonfire book club. That would be fun. There's an idea, Maggie, if you're listening. But yeah, I want like a good bonfire.
Yeah,
experience.
I like bonfire vibes. I just feel like you said, I don't think we've done one in forever. And usually it's just like someone starts a fire, we do a couple s'mores, and then like there's like no one outside. Like I feel like it's just like you and me.
And we're just making the s'mores, and then it's like, okay, well, I guess I don't want to just sit out here with just the two of us. Sorry.
Then we go inside. So
yeah.
We need bonfire with lots of people. Lots of people, good chats, good conversation. That's a good one. Okay, next one I have is that I would like to volunteer. I don't know where, what, how. I was looking just like randomly at some like United Way like volunteer website that had like, I think people can like post volunteer listings. I was looking at some food pantry stuff. Low key, there's one like food sorting that I was like, it's like one of those like monotonous tasks.
You're kind of like sometimes
almost seems
in
like
a secret life, in a different world, in a different life.
Like I'm just sorting canned goods. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Same with like working a Barnes & Noble job. In my mind, I'm like, there's another life where like I would just be doing that.
Or like Meals from the Heartland is one that we've done before where you just like measure like rice and like stuff and like put it in a bag, and like in another life I'm just doing one of those monotonous jobs. So low key I was like maybe that one.
My next one. I have a couple dating or relationship stuff just because Match Made in Manhattan, I feel like they were kind of like our bucket list is going to be related to like our two of them are single. One of them is in a relationship. So I think they were going to like try and make their summer bucket list like having something to do with like, you know, dating and whatnot.
Their escapades.
So I've made a goal of 2 dates. It could be with different people or the same person. I'm not here to
be picky.
But I feel like that, I would say, should be doable. But we all know it's already been
5 months.
Yeah. I was like, I think I went on my last date in October. And before that, like, literal years. So, and I'm not on Hinge right now. So, we'll see how that comes about. But, yes.
It's a good one. I don't have any dating bucket list stuff, but I'm open to it. I'm like, I did think about putting something down where it's like I have to like give someone like my number or something.
My next one, I'll just jump into it. I said making the first move, and I said preferably in the wild because like I just think it'd be more fun that way. And like,
Fun.
you know, this is just like everyone gets nervous with the thought of going up to someone. Like I literally never have. So like, yeah, but it's like you spend so much time because like we've talked about how like Instagram DMing someone would be something we'd be like comfortable with doing, and like no, like because like, it's like what's the worst that can happen? I'm not even really seeing the person. But it's like, it's one of those things where like you see TikToks where it's like, if you guys, like I'm trying to find this guy that like was here at this time, like he was the hottest guy I've ever seen.
It's like ridiculous. And
everyone's
like, girl,
like, you were there.
Saw him.
You had the opportunity to do something and you didn't. So I'm kind of trying to be like, internalizing that to say like, you had the opportunity. Like you found the cute hot guy in public.
You're gonna let him slip away like that?
So we'll see.
Speaking of, did you say cute hot guys?
Yeah.
Have you guys seen Mr. Hale on TikTok? I've only seen one TikTok about him, but like it was someone stitching. I don't know if it was a school account or like just someone posting.
It was like a teacher's teacher.
But it was like teachers being like, I'm so and so and this is me before I get pied in the face, and then like I'm so and so and this is me after I get pied in the face.
And it's like,
and there's a teacher whose name is Mr. Hale, and he was a cutie.
If he wants to reach out.
I don't know what school district he teaches in. I don't know how old he is. He's at least old enough to be a teacher, which sounds good to me. He can reach out to me. What were we talking about? Is it my turn?
Reaching out to making the first move.
Yeah. I will also try to internalize that. It's like, here's the thing though. I would say in general, like keep my eyes peeled, you know? But then people are also like, are you open to receiving?
I know.
You know what I mean?
Probably not. Like my what's the key? Like verbal, my body language. That's what I was looking for. My body language is probably like very like, I am not here to converse with anyone. Like I know that about myself. I'm smart enough to recognize that. So step one would probably be to
open yourself
up. More open with my body language.
Look around. Smile at people. I've heard people say like, as people TikTok, like
all it takes is a smile,
or like, you know, some indication. Like if you see someone that's attractive, like if they are interested in you, maybe at all, if you like give some sort of indication, then like it quote unquote opens the door.
Yeah. That
being said, I tend to keep my eyes peeled. Like in general, you know, I'm an observant person. I'm like, who's here? Who is here? And I mean, sometimes I see some people. Most of the times I fear I do not.
Yeah.
And so, where do I go?
I think about the apartment guy every once in a while.
I wish I knew what he looked like.
I know.
Like, it's now I just
I would pay good money
to like go into the depths of my brain to like remember what he looked like. If you guys, we've talked about apartment guy before, but right when we moved into our apartment in Iowa City, so this was 2018, we're like come back from walking somewhere, and this guy that lives in the apartment next door to us was like getting ready to go for a run or something.
So he was like stretching out a little bit.
Meg and I walk inside. We don't like look at each other. We don't say anything. And we get inside and we're both like, hold on.
Whoa.
Who was that? Never to be seen again.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever saw him again. And I don't remember what he looks like. But I knew like in the moment.
I was like,
he was cute. But I couldn't tell you his hair color. I'm assuming brown because like, you know, we know how we feel about blondes. But yeah, I don't have any idea who he looks like. I need someone to like stop me in my tracks like that.
Right? You're like
like I've waited this long at this point. Like, you know, I need some payoff.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, it's my turn for my next one. The downtown walk / half marathon thing or whatever.
I also wrote that down because I was like, I almost forgot, and then I was like, oh yeah, that was something I wanted to do. I had texted in our group chat that we have with us and then Maggie and Haley. And I have seen people do this on TikTok before where it's like they decide to do a little half marathon walk. Like it would take up, that'd be your day basically. And, you know, people probably live in more interesting cities. Like New York would be like ideal for something
Dad,
like
I have an idea.
Dad, do you want to do a half marathon with us? We're going to try, I definitely am going to need to do some planning a little bit to figure out a route that would be good. That would get us the 13 miles. That will be safe, that will give us
some
some different shops
locations
and
to stop
places
at.
that we could eat or shop at. But the idea is like we're literally just gonna try and walk a half marathon in a day, and I want to do it somewhere where like things would be interesting. So that's why I'm thinking downtown. Also because like there's not a whole lot of like other walkable areas with that much mileage. So haven't done any plan with that or when that would be, but it's on the agenda. I guess it's technically
that was
yours.
mine. So it's your turn. I wonder, like, I just know that when people do it, it doesn't seem like it'd be that bad. But then, like, people are like, my calves are sore.
It's
I do
13
fear for my
miles.
calves. That's my one concern.
Okay. My next one. Camping or glamping of some sort. This could be a variety of things. I've got to admit, going in a tent and doing that specific setup, I don't know if I'm built for that. I don't know.
Was this before or after the tick incident?
This was before. Or no, what am I saying? This was after. I just made this list last night. That's not the reason I just am like I've maybe set up a tent once in my life with assistance
in our grandparents' backyard.
Yeah. And I don't know, I just like have been seeing when I was looking at like Pinterest, like I've been seeing like they're romanticizing camping in tents and whatnot, and like I'm like, okay, that seems like fun, good, and I could have a good time.
I just think too, like when we were on the trampoline for, granted that was 24 hours, and like,
yeah,
you have other activities you do when you're camping, but I'm just like, I don't know if I'm built to sleep outside. So
if not that, there's other options. In Clear Lake, there are technically those yurt things that could be kind of maybe interesting. I don't know. There are, I don't know what they're called, but we had been looking at doing like, what's that company that has those cabins in different places?
Getaway or something?
Yeah, Getaway Frames, maybe.
I don't know.
There's a company that has different locations that like are also kind of camping vibes. So I don't know. A camping type of trip could be fun.
I did have something similar, potentially in the same vein. I don't know. But I did say like weekend trip within driving distance.
That could be.
And I said Clear Lake doesn't count. Because sometimes I feel like I like get going with these and I'm like, at this point, why don't I just go to Clear Lake?
I know. It's like, well, because to do something different.
So, I don't know. Whether that's like, and I didn't decide if it was like a camping, glamping vibe or if it was like, we've talked about going to like Kansas City, trying to find like a dog friendly Airbnb or something and like taking Vegas with us. And because like if we ever do a trip with Vegas, it's going to be a driving trip. Like I don't feel comfortable trying to fly somewhere with him. And I also like, I'm obviously like, we're going to New York. He's not coming with us to New York and like someone's watching him, but it'd be nice to kind of like get a trip fill, but like not have to worry about like someone watching Vegas or like paying someone to watch him. So I would like to maybe try traveling with him. We'll see how he does.
Anyways, that was technically mine. So
yeah, but then I just said mine was also a weekend trip.
Well,
okay. I want to do the Boone Rail Explorers.
That would be good. I think you kind of have to like book.
I know.
Ahead.
I probably like need to like book it right now.
Probably.
If you're unfamiliar with Iowa lore, they actually do have these other places too.
And I feel like I've seen the Boone ones specifically. Like they've blown up on TikTok a little bit.
If you've ever seen like this red, like it's like a cycle cart thing, almost like on a railroad track. That's what it is. You get like 2 to 4 people, depending on the cart size that you rent, and you just kind of like bike your way along the trail track or the train. What am I saying? The train tracks. It's in Boone again, so we could be in Boone quite a bit this summer. It just seems fun.
Good thing to just
I could blow up on TikTok if I record it. It's my number one goal in life.
My next one.
Hold on, pause. On that note, do you know how many times the Royal Gorge train has gone viral on TikTok? And I easily could have recorded some clips and gone viral.
A lot.
But I didn't.
Next, I have mini golf.
Okay.
I just like spazzed out. I just feel like it's a classic summer staple. And let's make it happen.
We could always try that one place over by Jordan Creek. Putts and pins. Is that what it's called?
I always prefer like an outdoor mini golf type of situation.
Okay.
So
Then forget what I said.
I'd prefer to do outside.
You know, it's like, I always think back to Clear Lake. I feel like it's where we do the most mini golfing, or like at least most recently. And like, if it gets hot outside, granted, like this can happen no matter what you're doing, but like, I just have like memories of like, ooh, it's a little hotter than I thought it was going to be today. And you're like out mini golfing, and then suddenly you're like, I don't care what hole we're on. Like, we got to get going. Like, we're hitting the ball. We just got to get done. So hopefully we pick a day that the weather's not impeding our performance.
My amazing performance.
Yeah. I said I want to take Vegas on outings or like farmers markets and try and get him to chill out.
My next one was farmers markets.
Vegas is a good boy. He loves people and he gets very excited around them. We're trying to get him to calm down and like relax a little bit, and then like people can come up to him and stuff. And I like last summer, I guess, yeah, we didn't have him last summer, but like we'd go like the farmers market and I see people with their dogs and I'm like, that's like what I would like to do. I'd like to have my dog well behaved enough that like I can take him on outings and he doesn't like impede me from going on outings.
And we haven't really like, we have ideas and thoughts about how he might do, but we haven't actually like done it.
I feel like it's the fear of how he's going to do. Granted, like it's also just, summer's just starting. So like farmers markets have just started and we're not taking him to downtown. Like honestly, at this, like downtown is so busy that like it's kind of just ridiculous to go to anyways. Mm-hmm. But like there's other farmers markets that are smaller.
It's going on right now as we speak.
Yeah, the downtown farmers market is. And like even if I just take him on like the outskirts of the farmers market initially, of like there's people like that have to park quite a ways away and then like walk to the farmers market and like see how he does just like in that environment, and then hopefully we can get him
Maybe
to
he'd surprise us.
I don't know.
He would do really well. I don't know.
It's like, it's weird because we take him to like the dog park, like Paws and Pints, and like he gets excited like around other dogs and stuff, but like he's not like crazy about like the other people and like jumping up on other people. So I don't know.
It would just be a different environment. So okay, my next one is, this was kind of like, this popped in my head and I was just like, okay, like that's not really something I normally would want to do, but it sounds kind of fun because then I was having flashbacks. And I said, sand volleyball, ?
Oh.
Mostly because like
I can go watch. I low-key think I just hate volleyball.
There was one instance, an experience when we were in PT school where there were people in our class that were doing like sand volleyball and or just hanging out at this park thing. And so we went to that, and I actually like, I kind of had a good time. And so
join a sand volleyball league by yourself.
I would, people would probably hate me because I would do horrible, but
you really got to commit in those environments. Like when you join like a rec league or something. Like, I just don't know if we have it in us to like commit to the bit that much. I don't like volleyball. I've played before, you know, recreationally, and it just hurts. And I'm not willing to overcome the pain.
We'll see. I put a question mark next to that one because I must admit myself that I'm like,
yeah, do I care that much?
I don't know.
We should get back on our pickleball grind. I didn't write that down, but okay, I have 3 more. We should go hammocking somewhere, sometime, for whatever reason. It could be to read, it could be to nap. I didn't say he was coming with.
I know.
Could be to gossip, but like we have nice hammocks that we purchased years ago. I don't think I've used mine in like 4 years.
I used mine a couple times last summer because we technically have a hammock stand on our deck. So I've used it a couple times just for some reading. But then like the sun, like with how it's positioned, like the sun will get like right in my face. And then I'm like, I can't really read my book right now. Maybe on my Kindle it'd be easier now that I have that. That would be a good one. Just need to find a place to do it.
Do you remember that one time we did it? Like this was right after we got our hammocks. It was like cold outside. We were like wearing our coats.
Yeah. We were so excited. I could scroll on my Instagram and find the picture I Instagrammed.
Oh, you posted something?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you did. I remember it.
Okay. Next I have a fair. I feel like it's
classic.
And you need to have a summer fair. It could be the state fair. It could be the Clear Lake Fair. I'm sure it'll be both. But
Carnival.
You know.
Carnival fair. What was the other one?
Carnival, no games. What's that thing
people
used to say? All carnival. What did people say?
I know what people are. I know what you're talking about. But Well, I'm saying
No carnival, no games. I don't even know.
No.
I don't even remember what that means.
Anyway, remember we had that like whole discussion of like carnival versus fair
Yeah.
versus
A
something
carnival
else.
travels. So it's like a carnival is all temporary. I guess a fair could be as well.
A fair is like location dependent though, like the Iowa State Fair. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
County fair. Like there's fairgrounds.
Yeah.
Yes. A fair, there's fairgrounds. A carnival
Comes into town.
comes into town. They can set up wherever, and it's usually not on a designated fairground.
And then
And a fair usually also has like competition. I think we also decided fairs have competitions. Carnivals like don't usually. And yes.
Okay. Next one. Go to a comedy show.
That might be happening soon.
Yeah.
I've
Never been to a comedy show, and the one that I found that I sent to Megan seems like a good like low barrier to entry. I'm mostly just fearful of going to a comedy show and like wittingly having them like make fun of me or something. Like I know it's common for them to like do crowd work and like be like, you like what do you do, blah blah blah. I want to observe, at least I
don't want to be part
when
of
I
the
get
bit.
there. I've never been before, and so I'd be scared they're gonna like make fun of me. But the one that I found is like at this pottery painting place, and so it's like you just like they're supposed to be like comedians like doing their show while you like paint pottery, and that sounds like a dream. And I don't think they're gonna make fun of me, so
Yeah.
I don't know. Just seems like a more low-key environment.
I have a couple more. Amusement park. This could be Adventureland. This
I
could
love a
be,
simple amusement park day.
Worlds of Fun if we want to. Although, like I must admit, last summer I realized my tolerance to rides may be decreasing every year because I went on a couple roller coasters last year and I was like, I don't know. But nonetheless, it would be fun to go have a little day at the amusement park.
And that could be like a legit day trip too.
Yeah.
Like if it was World's Fun, obviously Adventureland is a day trip because we live in town. But we've talked about like early morning drive
like
down.
We get
It's
there.
only
They
3
don't
hours.
open till like 10. So if you leave at 7, you're getting there when it opens.
So that's a good one. This is my last one. Crochet or knit something.
With our crochet/knitting club, I see
that's
that's
happening.
feasible.
Historically, I feel like I'm not someone who's just like very good with my hands. Like I've never been good at doing my own hair. I've never really tried to like knit or crochet, but it seems like it'd be something that'd be hard for me. And so I feel like that's probably like why I've never really like tried. And I want to get over the fear of like not trying something because I feel like I might be bad at it. I very well could be bad at it, but that's okay.
But you haven't tried. I have attend a festival of some kind. I guess the hot air balloon is a festival. That could count. It could be, I don't know if I would care enough to go to Hinterland, but like that's a music
country
festival.
music?
Probably mostly. And I don't know if I care enough to do that or not, but like some sort of festival just to like have something to do. What's a festival versus a carnival versus
Festivals need music, I feel.
hot air balloon? I guess
They have a live band.
They do.
I don't know.
What makes something a festival?
It's a multi-day event. Typically, carnivals and fairs are also multi-day events, but I feel like
it's like one category or genre of thing. Like the hot air balloon festival.
this is the hot air balloon festival.
And then like you have music festivals for music. You have Renaissance festivals. I don't know. You have any more?
No, I'm done.
My last one is stargazing. This could be a simple one. Like it used to be something we did at the lake all the time when we would go up there, and I just feel like we just don't do it anymore. And I feel like I miss doing that. I miss making little beds on the end of the dock and with like comforters and blankets and stuff. It's just like a good like debrief setting if there's things to debrief on. So I added that to my list as well. Could also be done elsewhere, but the lake would be ideal.
Well, that will do it for our summer bucket list. If you guys have any ideas of things that we should add, or if you have any ideas of what you want to do this summer, feel free to either comment on the YouTube video, or if you're following us on Instagram, we should have an episode post. We're trying to stay on top of things, so you can comment your summer bucket list items as well.
Otherwise, we will talk to you guys next Thursday.
Bye.